Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Tech This Week. My name is Apalak. Hope all of you are keeping well. So today, before I dive into the topic, I'll ask you a question. It's a question that at least haunts me. I think it will resonate with you as well. Why does paying 500 rupees in cash hurt, but the same amount when you're paying through UPI doesn't? You know, no wallets getting lighter. No notes leaving your hand, just a vibration, a green tick, payment successful, right? Same money, it's your money. Yeah. Instead of leaving it from your wallet, your physical wallet is going through your digital wallet. You know, same money, but very different feeling. So today's episode is about this. It's about the invisible bill, as we call it, the hidden cost of digital convenience. Be with me, right? Because for most of human history, paying was physical. You have to understand, right? You for today's generation, this might be news, but for all of us who've grown up with physical money, that's how we dealt with money, right? So you counted notes, you saw money leave your hand, your brain synthesized and felt a loss. That feeling is what we call the pain of paying. It's not a bug, it's not a feature. It's what keeps your spending at check. Think of it. Now look at UPI. Scan, tap, done. No physical cue, no emotional friction, no moment of hesitation. So the system didn't just make payments faster. Are you with me? It made spending actually emotionally cheaper. Yeah, emotionally cheaper. And when spending feels cheaper, two things happen. You know, you spend more often, right? Obviously. And you think less each time. Not because people became careless, but because systems were removed. You know, the and therefore, if you think of it, UPI and digital commerce don't usually make you buy one very expensive thing. That still hasn't happened. They make you buy many small things. 1 2 rupees coffee, 199 cook delivery, 99 add-on, 149 convenience fee. Each one of them is insignificant. Together, they quietly become a budget leak. This is the concept of micro spending economy. Low friction, low thinking, high frequency. Digital platforms are perfectly designed for this. Only 10 minutes left. People also bought this free delivery if you add one more thing, just for 10 rupees extra. So think of it, we all do this. So you're not making decisions anymore. You are actually responding to prompts. Convenience doesn't just remove effort, it removes what? It removes deliberation, right? So let's talk about another area that it impacts. I know I've covered this in one of our previous episodes. Think about auto renewal OTT subscriptions like Netflix, Prime, Spotify. Each one is just 199, 299, 499. But stacked together, you're paying a monthly real tax of your own life. The genius of subscriptions is simple. You feel the pain once when you subscribe. After spending becomes invisible. No scan, no decision, no reminder. Money just leaves. For consumers, it's death by 1,000 renewals. For businesses, this model is gold, because forgetfulness is now a revenue strategy, right? And this is what they bank on. But this is not just confined to consumer world. The same thing can happen in the B2B space, in the business world as well, right? You know, just take examples of SaaS tools, analytical tools, AI tools, CRM tools, productivity software. Every team buys just one more tool. Each one is only $20 per user or 2,000 rupees per month. Some tools are bought with a mindset, let's try it. Doesn't work, we can always cancel it. But think of it. Have you ever canceled it? So companies slowly build a subscription sprawl. You have 20, you have 40, then you eventually have 80 tools. Half used, half forgotten, but the payment is still going. So digital convenience is not just reshaping consumers. You have to understand it's quietly hampering spending discipline inside organizations too. But like I said, this story is really not about UPI or OTT subscriptions. Right? And this is where I want your attention. It's a story about what happens when a system gets too good at removing friction. Because whatever we are told, you have to understand because friction is not always bad. Sometimes friction is what makes you pause, you know, think, reconsider, and more often than not, at times it is required to say no. For decades, you have to understand why I'm emphasizing on this because for decades, the Indian middle class lived with this friction. And that friction built a certain financial discipline. Spend carefully, save regularly, and avoid waste. Which is why the middle class has managed to thrive and survive for all these years. This friction is slowly disappearing. That doesn't mean, please understand, that the middle classes suddenly become richer. It just means they are being removed, and moved into a system where discipline is no longer built in. And that's the real shift, my friends. Not from cash to UPI, but from a savings first culture, which we have historically been known for, to a convenience first culture. And at an individual level, you'll not feel the difference, but at a household level, it'll show up as a thin buffer. But at a generational level, when we see it at scale, it makes financial security more fragile than it ever was. The real risk of convenience economy isn't that people will spend on one big mistake. It's that they'll slowly stop building safety nets without noticing. Something that our parents, our grandparents have very successfully managed to do over so many years. The scary part, most of us won't even feel it happening. We don't feel it happening. We just keep on scanning. A lot to think on this, right? It's an area that fascinated me. Hope you think about it and share your comments. Have a great week ahead. Bye.